T minus 3, 2, 1, ignition.
What you know about this life? Yeah. Just relax, baby, get high. Yeah, you're on your way to the best night ever. No top, out with the stars.
What is up? You're listening to the Best Night Ever Fantasy Football Recap presented by Busch Light. This is your host, Bobby Tarnapol, and I have a great show for you tonight. First, we are going to recap the matchups from Week 3, then talk about some waiver pickups, and then the first trade of the season. And then finally get into some Week 4 predictions. Let's get into it. First matchup of the week was Team Silly MJ versus Trapped in the Closet. It was an absolute bloodbath. Team Silly MJ, Michael, won 162-99. Just not even a contest. Let's see. Matt Ryan with 24 and Mike Evans out of nowhere with 44 carried Michael's team to the finish and scored about 3/4 of Thomas's points just by the two of them. Pretty solid outing. However, Emmanuel Sanders looks to have a quad strain that he had, at some point in the game. But the first 2 weeks, Week 1 he had 17, Week 2 he had 23, dropped all the way down to 2. So that should be interesting going forward, see what Michael wants to do. Let's see, he was also voted the worst manager, I believe. I don't have him in front of me, but because he had T.Y. Hilton and this dude's name that I have no fucking idea how to pronounce, Nelson Agholor. He had 18. So bench looked pretty good, so he can definitely replace a potentially hurt Emmanuel Sanders. Thomas, on the other hand, struggling quite a bit, 0-3. Team looks really good on paper, not so much when it comes time to actually play. Looks like his quarterbacks were struggling, Jared Goff and Kyler Murray. Goff had 11, Murray had 15, not the best. Basically, the most solid player is Zeke with 17, but that's not going to carry you. So hopefully he can either make some trade moves or his players start being better, or he's probably going to get his head shaved. But him and Connor, we'll see. That is your first game matchup. Our second matchup is My Girlfriend Owns Me, the best team name in the league, versus Lil Nas Flex. Another blowout, absolute slaughter, 187-124. 124, however, is not too bad of a score considering Andrew lost his 2 starting quarterbacks in Ben Roethlisberger and Drew Brees. Picked up Mason Rudolph and Kirk Cousins. Didn't really do too hot for him. Both scored 12 in the 12s. It's not going to cut it for a quarterback, especially in this league. Le'Veon Bell didn't do too hot with 8. Austin Eckler kind of fell off from his previous weeks of massive games of 36 and 19. He dropped down to 11. Julian Edelman came back and got 15 from a down week of 7 the week prior. And Evan Ingram, his tight end, kind of came in clutch for him a little bit after showing out in Week 1, then falling off Week 2. And then Daniel Jones must really like him because he went back up and scored a couple touchdowns. Let's see. Cowboys got him 13, so that should be pretty good following the rest of the season. Philip Lindsay was on his bench, however, with 27, which might have helped him a little bit, but not enough to beat with My Girlfriend Owns Me's score. He has Patrick Mahomes, first round pick for him. Good move. He's been showing out. He's really just stacked. Deshaun Watson, Delvin Cook, Greg Olsen, and then Tyler Lockett has been pretty average for the first 2 weeks, and then stepped it up big time in Russell Wilson's huge game, which I think he had 45 points, which we will get to later. But Tyler Lockett with 29, almost 30 points. Huge. Helped secure the W. Not really much else to say. However, Mark Ingram was on his bench, was on Jacobs' bench with 36 points, which is probably not really a fluke because week 1, week 1 was against Miami. He had 25, then a decent run defense. He only had 8 with when he played Arizona. So could be a good pickup. We don't really know. He plays Cleveland this week, so we will see if he's actually good this year. And then we'll go from there. All right. That is your second matchup.
All right. For our third matchup, we have the Dayman, CD Nasty, whatever the fuck that is, versus the Pele's of Anal, which I'm assuming is like kicking ass or something. Whatever that is. I guess it's better than my team name. Anyway. Not as much of a blowout as the other 2 games, but still a decent amount by 40, 42 to be exact, 177 to 135. Let's see. Nick goes from wanting to commit suicide after week 1 to absolutely murdering the next 2 weeks. It's 2-1. He had a great showing from Russell Wilson, who probably had his best career game. 406 yards, 2 throwing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. Unbelievable. Alvin Kamara with 32. And the Patriots got him 14. Those were the big hits of the week for him. Everyone else is pretty average. As average as Tom Brady can be for 23. I guess that's expected from him now. Derrick Henry with 11. Let's check out his bench. Jacoby Brissett had 23. I guess you're not going to really play him over the other 2 guys. Nobody else really on his bench. Terry McLaurin from Ohio State. Try to pick him up. Beat me to it. He's been going really well. He earned the starting spot. Going to be a great potential trade bait. Hint, hint. Offer me something. Let's see. Connor, 0-3, put up 135. Pretty good score. Still would have lost to 4 of the other teams in the league. It's quite the league we have here. 8 teams, a lot of players, high points, high scoring. 135 should get you a W, but it did not. Anyway, Carson Wentz, Lamar Jackson, 2 great guys, 2 good quarterbacks. 21 each, really carried him. Chubb decided to show up, got you 15. See, Fournette, who he has traded, but I will get to that in a second. Got him 12. Hasn't been really doing that well. Devontae Adams, 7. Kind of disappointing so far this season, except for week 2, I guess. It's early. Keenan Allen, though. Shit. 40 points. 13 receptions, 183 yards, and 2 TDs. That'll get her done. Yeah. It's not really much else to say about him. His bench. Really, Darren Waller from the Raiders, tight end, scored 23. It's kind of a bummer considering his tight end scored 3. All right, the last matchup of the week was between myself, Team B, Tarnopol. Oh, what a fucking fantastic name that is. Versus Cam, which is Dinosaurs Greater Than Tits, Greater Than Catan, Greater Than Class of 5. Great name if I was a part of the joke. Feels great. Love being a part of inside jokes. All right. Let's see. 141 to 125. The W going to myself. The This was the closest game of the week. Kind of scraped by with a win there, considering Baker Mayfield didn't do shit. Saquon Barkley got hurt, and Todd Gurley is having an absolute trash season. Thankfully for me. However, Cam had Phillip Rivers, who had 21, who's been doing pretty well. Julio Jones went off, decided to follow up his Week 2 performance at 28, got 25. Cooper Kupp did even better with 30. Seems like he's on the ups. Should be pretty good against Tampa Bay this weekend. Zach Ertz, pretty standard, 8 points, and nothing special. Yeah, if you didn't have those guys suck / Barkley going down, things might have been different, or they should have been different. All right, on my side, had Aaron Rodgers, who's shitting himself in the bed, was scoring less than 15 points all 3 weeks. Hopefully he can figure his shit out against Philly this weekend before he has to face Dallas and get destroyed. Dak finally being trusted as a actual quarterback and crushing it. Had 21, following his 38 and 26 in Week 1 and Week 2, which is kind of surprising considering he played against Miami in Week 3 and had his least points by far. He's playing the Saints, so we'll see how that goes. McCaffrey came back, thank God, after his Week 2 debacle of 6 points. He had 30 points, pretty great. James Conner absolutely sucks. Hopefully he will do better this week against a shitty Bengals defense. Amari Cooper at 23, and Joe Mixon decided to actually play and had 16. Brandon Cooks had 19 on my bench, and then Demarcus Robinson decided to take all of Sammy Watkins' points and had them on my bench with 11 and a touchdown. All right. That is the last matchup of the week. All right, let's talk about this first trade of the season. Let's see. Michael traded Connor. Michael gave up Michael got Devontae Adams and Leonard Fournette and gave up David Johnson, Marquise Brown, and a 2021 first round. Connor really thinking for the future there. 2 years away. Not fucking around. Anyway, we'll see how that turns out. Devontae Adams is pretty much lackluster of a season so far, except for Week 2, he scored 17, but the other ones were less than 10. So, same with Leonard Fournette. Hasn't been that great. Pretty average, 8, 10, and 12. Getting better, but we'll see. Seems to be that Michael traded away more than he got in return at the moment, but I guess only time will tell. David Johnson had 22, 7, and 15, but he has a kind of a tough, well, not really, with the easy schedule coming up. I mean, the toughest one is Seattle this week, but after that, it's pretty easy sailing, so don't really know why he got rid of him, but that's okay. And Marquise Brown has been going down. I mean, you can't really live up to that Week 1 against Miami. 31 points, 12 points, and then 5, so he's on a downward trend. I guess that's good to get rid of him. Hopefully, maybe Connor was hyped on him because he has a decently easy schedule with the Browns, Steelers, and Cincinnati coming up before they head to Seattle. Yeah, not really an exciting trade, but good trade for both teams, I think. We'll see. Have to see how it plays out. All right, here are your Week 4 predictions. I'm going to try to do this in one take, so hopefully I don't fuck it up. But, all right, first game is myself versus the Dayman, Mr. Suicide himself, Nick Hill. Kind of fucked up, suicide jokes. Whatever. Anyway, The Sleeper app has us predicted at 143 to 136. Of course, I'm going to say I'm going to win. A little biased, but I do have some pretty favorable matchups with Dak Prescott against the Saints, James Conner against the Bengals, Amari Cooper against the Saints. Let's see. Maybe not as many as I thought. Anyway, yeah, still going to win. Russell Wilson is playing against the easy, well, quote-unquote, easy Arizona defense, and should be pretty easy there. Tom Brady has to play at Buffalo, which is not in his favor. Let's see. Kamara has to go up against the defensive line of Cowboys, which isn't like that great, but also pretty fucking good. Terry McLaurin has to go up against the Giants, so he should destroy their secondary. Boyd, his flex, is going up against Pitt. However, Andy Dalton likes to target John Ross, who's on my bench more. So we'll see how that goes. But all in all, I think the W goes to me. But we'll let time tell that. All right, let's go to the second matchup, which is Trapped in the Closet. Hopefully he comes out and gets a win versus My Girlfriend Owns Me. I think we all know how this is going to go. Let's see. Jacobs is definitely going to win. His roster is pretty good. He does have some tough matchups. Dalvin Cook's going against the Bears defense, so that should be pretty difficult to get some yards. But other than that, he's looking pretty solid. We'll see how he does. He'll probably put up big points like he always does. See, Thomas's team should hopefully show up this week rather than just being good in theory. Really the only hole in his lineup would be Chris Carson. It's not really an RB2. He's more of a flex or bench player as of right now. Godwin would be secondary to Mike Evans. So we will have to see how he does. He didn't do very well against the Giants last week, who doesn't have a very good secondary. So we'll have to see about that. Yeah, pretty lopsided match, but you never know. Maybe he'll go 1-3. We got Cam versus Connor. Projections say that Connor's going to win. However, Cam definitely has a lineup that can put up a fight, as he saw last week. Baker Mayfield will struggle against Baltimore. Philip Rivers should have a very easy time with the Dolphins, but as we saw last week, Dak Prescott played the Dolphins and did pretty damn well, but only had 23 points, I believe it was. Justin Jackson is going to be hopefully running on them all day as well. Todd Gurley has to go against Tampa Bay. So it doesn't look too hot for him, but hopefully he decides to show up and hopefully emulate week 2, get 14 solid points. But we will see on that. Cooper Kupp could carry him again. Zach Ertz, you never know with him. He could go off. And yeah, it's pretty standard after that. Chargers, that's Chargers D. I believe Cam just picked them up off of waivers. They would be a very good pickup and could be the deciding factor in this game because it should be pretty damn close. Over on Connor's side, Carson Wentz, Lamar Jackson, those guys could put up 50 points combined, easy. Nick Chubb might have to help out Baker Mayfield, considering Baker Mayfield can't throw. His newly acquired pickup, David Johnson, is playing Seattle, which probably doesn't look good in his favor. Robert Woods against Tampa Bay. Keenan Allen should be lighting up the Dolphins. However, for every point that Keenan Allen gets, on the other side of the board, Philip Rivers gets. So that should be interesting to keep an eye on. Does that cancel out Keenan Allen or Philip Rivers? Probably not, because we're in a PPR league, but you never know. It will make it a lot closer. Yeah, that is that matchup. And then lastly, we got Andrew versus Michael. This looks to be a very close game, believe it or not. Though both Big Ben and Drew Brees went down, Andrew was able to put up some decent points last week, so hopefully he can do the same. He did put in Philip Lindsay this week against Jacksonville after he had him on his bench and he scored 27. Hopefully he can get rolling. Austin Eckler, though, is a ticking time bomb considering Melvin Gordon is coming back in a couple weeks. We will see how that turns out. Hopefully he accepts my trade that I offered him earlier today that he hasn't looked at yet, even though he's been on the app. Fucked up. Anyway, yeah. Over to Michael's team, Matt Ryan. He just picked up Daniel Jones, who I tried to get off of waivers. Bastard. Should be, hopefully he can repeat from last week. Show why he was drafted number 6. Traded for Leonard Fournette as well, as I just covered. Kind of a iffy trade. We'll see. He's playing Denver. So that'd be kind of funny. Michael, you get to watch your guy that you just traded run all over your favorite team. Should be fun. OBJ, hopefully he has a decent game. Mike Evans, definitely not going to repeat against the Rams of what he just put up last week. Those 44 points with 3 touchdowns. Yeah, not a chance. But so that is your recap, trade talk, week 4 projections. This is me signing off. Catch you later.
Bye, have a great time.